If you've been waking up with the quiet panic of having no idea where your life is going, watching everyone else seem to move with purpose while you drift, I want you to know this. You're not lost. You're between maps. The old chart you were following has run out, and the new one hasn't been drawn yet. And that strange, mapless stretch in between is not failure. It's the most honest part of any real journey. Here's what I mean by that. We use the word lost like it's a catastrophe, like you've wandered off the path and can't find your way back. But being lost assumes there was a single correct route and you fell off it. What most people call being lost is something different and far more alive. It's the moment the old map stopped matching the territory and you were brave enough to notice instead of pretending. Think about the early explorers, sailing past the edge of every chart they had. At a certain point, the map simply ended. Not because they'd failed, but because they'd reached the limit of what anyone had drawn so far. Beyond that line was blank parchment, and they had a choice. Turn back to the safe, mapped, known world, or keep going and become the ones who drew the next map themselves. That blank space wasn't a sign they were lost. It was a sign they'd reached the frontier, the exact place where the known ends and the new begins. And here's the thing nobody tells you. Every map that exists was once blank parchment that somebody crossed without one. The territory you're standing in only feels like nowhere because no one has charted it for you yet. You're not off the map, you're past it. Let me tell you about someone. I'll call her Mara. For most of her 20s, Mara had a map. A clear track she'd inherited from her family, her schooling, the people around her. Get the qualification, get the role, climb the steps, and she followed it faithfully until one morning she reached the end of it and felt nothing but a wide, terrifying blankness. The map had run out, and underneath the fear was a single honest thought. I don't know where I'm going. And Mara did what most of us do first. She panicked and tried to find someone else's map to copy, anyone's, just to stop the vertigo of having none. But every borrowed map led somewhere that wasn't hers. It took her months to understand that the blankness wasn't a problem to solve by copying. It was an invitation to draw. The mapless season wasn't her being lost. It was the first time her life had actually been hers to chart. There's real psychology under this, and it comes from a researcher named William Bridges, who studied how human beings move through change. He found that every transition has 3 phases: an ending, a beginning, and crucially, a long disorienting middle. He called the neutral zone. It's the in-between where the old identity is gone and the new one hasn't formed. And here's what he insisted, that mapless middle is not a malfunction. It's where the actual transformation happens. Most people try to skip the neutral zone. They rush to grab the next role, the next plan, the next borrowed map, just to escape the discomfort of not knowing. But Bridges found that the people who let themselves stay in the blank space, who tolerated the not knowing instead of fleeing it, came out the other side with something a borrowed map could never give them, a direction that was genuinely their own. So if you've been calling yourself lost, here are 3 things I'd ask you to hold. First, lost assumes a map you've fallen off. But you haven't fallen off anything. The old route reached its natural end. That's not a wrong turn. That's arrival at the edge. The panic you feel isn't the panic of being off track. It's the vertigo of standing at the frontier, which feels almost identical from the inside, and is the complete opposite in what it means. Second, the blankness is the canvas, not the void. The emptiness ahead of you isn't nothing, it's unwritten. And unwritten means yours to write. The people who feel most certain about their direction often inherited it whole and never questioned it. You've been handed something rarer and harder, a blank stretch that nobody gets to fill but you. Third, don't grab the first borrowed map. The fastest way to escape the discomfort is to copy someone else's route. And it's also the surest way to spend your life walking somewhere that was never yours. Stay in the neutral zone long enough to feel where you actually want to go. The direction that rises slowly out of the blankness will carry you further than any map you grabbed in a panic. So the next time the mapless feeling rises and you're tempted to call it being lost, I want you to rename it. You're not off the path. You've sailed past the edge of the old chart, into the exact blank space where every new map has ever been born. The poet Antonio Machado once wrote that there is no road. The road is made by walking. He understood what the frightened part of us forgets. The path doesn't exist before you, waiting to be found. It forms behind you, out of the steps you take across the blank. You were never lost. You were just standing at the frontier, mistaking unwritten for nowhere. So stop searching for a map that doesn't exist yet, and go take the next honest step, and let the road you've been looking for appear behind you.